Hey guys, YouTuber 100 here. Alright, now here I am to start with my Planet of the Apes reviews. Now here I am starting off with a review for the original Planet of the Apes. So, yeah, but before I start off with this review, I just want to say that I'm sorry that it's taken me a little while since the last video I made where I did announce that I was going to be doing these. Yeah, I'm sorry that it's kind of taken me a little while to start off, but it's just that for the last few days I've just like I've been like grieving over something that happened with me. Like a few days ago, I had to put my dog down. Yeah, and yeah, it was just like something I really sadly had to do. Yeah, yeah, my dog just really was not doing very good. I mean, she was just yeah for a little while she had a growth or a tumor or something and like forming under like her jaw, and then yeah, just this past Thursday, like she just like couldn't get up to walk or stand or anything. So yeah, she wasn't doing good. So yeah, we had to bring her to the vet, and then yeah, we put her down. And so yeah, I've just been like grieving over that for the last few days. That's why it's kind of taken me a little while to start these, just because like I needed some time just to like grieve over that for a little bit. Yeah, I'm sure like those of you who've had pets that have like gotten old and like have been suffering and stuff, you've probably had to do this, or even just if your pets have just died naturally. It's not an easy thing to deal with. So, yeah, that's just like, it's just something that happened to me. I mean, yeah, and it was not easy to deal with. I mean, yeah, we've had her for like 10 years, and so yeah, it's just like been hard to deal with that she hasn't been with us anymore. So yeah, that's just the reason why I haven't really. It's taken me a little while to start these reviews, just because I've been grieving over that for a little bit. All right, but anyway, so yeah, here I am starting off with the original Planet of the Apes, and so yeah, this film has really been looked at by many to really be a classic, and yeah, it is. This is definitely like a really good, maybe even great film. I mean, yeah, this film came out in 1968, and yeah, to this day, people really still do seem to really look at it as a classic. I mean, people still do like talk about this film to this day. And yeah, it really has become like a real popular franchise, of course. I mean, just like I was saying in my last video, how popular this franchise has become, especially since it's still going on now today. So, I just yeah, and I really have loved this movie. I mean, I've watched this film a few times before, not a lot, but a few, and I have liked it a lot. And yeah, this is just like, I really do enjoy this film. I mean, it is a relatively simple story, and the effects are like pretty outdated. I mean, yeah, the makeup for this film with like the actors playing the apes, I mean, yeah, it is like a bit outdated. I mean, I'm sure it did look like really great back then, but now, like, you can see like it really just it the makeup on the for the apes really does like it really does look really outdated. I mean, you know, when you like see the apes talk and stuff, they like oh, it really just doesn't look very good. It just kind of just has their mouths moving up and down, not really any facial activity to it. So yeah, the makeup is a little outdated. I mean, it's done like a lot better today. So yeah, but yeah, still, I really do think for the story that this film tells, I think it is told pretty good. I mean, the story for this film is basically just how, like, it shows that apes are really the dominant species, and just how humans in this world are really just like really treated as if they're the animals, and yeah, they just end up like being hunted down, they're murdered, they're captured. Yeah, basically just yeah, it's the apes are dominant over humans. Yeah. So it's basically like just the the world that is like populated with apes, and yeah, the apes really are looked at as like the true people of the world. And yeah, I think that the story is told real well. I mean, yeah, it just shows how they're like a spaceship ends up like crashing down on an unknown world, and it's populated by apes. And then yeah, the main astronaut in this film, of course, like he like ends up being captured, but then like over time he then like grows a connection with the apes, and so yeah, then we have like the romantic interest and stuff, and so yeah, I really do like the story that this film has, and it has a pretty good cast. I mean, it has a Charlton Heston, Roddy McDowell, Kim Hunter, Maurice Evans, and James Whitmore. So yeah, it really does like. There's not really like a great big human cast in this film. The cast is really mainly just actors that are playing the apes. So yeah, it's mainly just apes in this. But yeah, Charlton Heston, the main character for this, he is still like a human. So yeah, he's basically like the main focus on this film with like the rest of the apes. So yeah, he does really good, and the rest of the cast, while like the the makeup has really become really outdated, and it really doesn't look very good today. The performances are still like pretty good, considering like what the actors were able to do in this film. So yeah, they still like do overall. They're good in this film, and so yeah, this film really has stood the test of time. Like I said before, I mean, yeah, people have really just like called this film a classic to this day, and so yeah, it really is like a true classic. It really is like one of the probably like one of the more popular films that was made like long ago. I mean, as of this year, it's this film has like been out for 50 years. So yeah, this film was like kind of along the lines of Star Wars, how it's become like really just like so popular with people that it's still just like a real famous franchise to this day. So yeah, you really have to give that to this film. I mean, yeah, despite the fact how, like I said before, the effects and stuff are outdated, it is still looked at to be like a true classic. So yeah, it is a really, really good film. Maybe even a great film. I would give this film probably, I don't know, 3.75 stars out of 4. I mean, yeah, the story is overall, it's pretty simple, really. It's just how uh, the main character, uh, who's played by Charlton Heston, who's the astronaut, yeah, he's just like, ends up like being captured by the apes and stuff, and over time, like he is like he is treated basically as an animal, but then over time, like they see like more to him and stuff, and like he does have a connection with like there's this like a doctor ape that he ends up falling for, and she has like a fiance and a nephew that like he like formed a connection with as well, and as well as like there's this other human woman that's captured by apes that he ends up falling in love with as well. So yeah, it's a pretty simple story, and yeah, it does take a little bit for this film to get going. Like we don't actually see any apes in this film until like about after the 30-minute mark in this film. So yeah, yeah, it does take a little bit for this film to actually like really like live to it, like actually like be true to its title for being the Planet of the Apes. Yeah, at first it just seems like it's just like kind of a remote world as we see just how of the three astronauts just like just like journeying through the world and stuff. But yeah, eventually like we do see like what the population of the world really is. So yeah, I guess it is like a good way to just kind of like build up the anticipation and stuff. So yeah, I guess they do a good job at that. And yeah, the cast is all pretty good in this, and the story, it is good too. So yeah, I guess I would give it probably like 3.5 stars or 3.75 stars out of 4. Yeah, somewhere in there. Yeah, it is like a true classic. Alright, so yeah, let me just get right into it. Alright, so as the film opens up, it shows that there are these three astronauts, Taylor, who's played by Charlton Heston, Landon, who's played by Robert Gunner, and Dodge, played by Jeff Burton. They're like aboard a spaceship, and they're like in like a deep hibernation sleep or something aboard the ship, and eventually like their ship ends up crashing down uh, in an unknown planet on an unknown planet in a lake, and then like and during the crash, it like ended up causing like a a time dilation where they end up aging like 18 months, and then like their fourth crewmate ended up dying and decaying after a malfunction, and so then yeah, the three of the Taylor, Landon, and Dodge just are forced to abandon the ship as it was sinking, and so then yeah, and it was then eventually ended up revealing that they're now in the year 3978, hey, which was a two millennia period since their departure. So yeah, they were like gone for a long time. Well, yeah, this film was like I said in the very, very, very far future. Yeah, and then like it shows that then like after they set foot ashore, then they then are just like journeying through the wasteland and to find like food and just like a ways to basically for them to be able to live on the island and that they're on. Yeah, yeah. And as they were journeying, they eventually ended up coming across lost like some plant life and stuff, and then they like ended up seeing what they just thought were like scarecrow-like figures, and then as they went swimming naked, and it did actually show like their bare asses. So yeah, kind of strange to see like bare asses in a G-rated film. Yeah, look, you see right, yeah, you see right there, like this movie is rated G. You see that right there? It's a G-rated film, and yet they actually do show like bare asses in the film. Like literally, it does show their butts. So yeah, kind of strange that a G-rated film does have that included in it. So yeah, but yeah. Anyway, and as they went swimming naked, it then like their clothes ended up being stolen, and as the three of them were trying to chase down the thieves, it showed them that their clothes were now torn to shreds and all their supplies ended up being pillaged. Hush, hush, and hush, and then yeah, it then showed just there was just a group of primitive humans that didn't talk. They were just basically muted and stuff. And they ended up like raiding a cornfield, but then yeah, it then showed like armed gorillas then and setting upon them, and then they ended up ambushing the humans, and they ended up like capturing some of them while the others were killed. So then yeah, it showed that Dodge was like killed by the apes, and Landon ended up being knocked unconscious, and then yeah, Taylor ended up like being shot in like his neck and stuff, and so then yeah, he ended up being captured with the other primitive humans, and then yeah, the humans that were captured ended up being taken to Ape City, Eddie, yeah, and then yeah, Taylor ended up like being saved after a blood transfusion by two chimps, which were like Zira, who was an animal psychologist, and the surgeon Galen stuff. So yeah, and apparently like the humans in this film are just looked at as animals. So yeah, it's basically like I was saying earlier. It's like the apes are human and the humans are animals in this world. So yeah, yeah. And as Taylor was mended, yeah, as his throat was like healing, he was unable to speak, and Zira just like was calling Taylor Bright Eyes, and he was like ended up placed with another of the captive humans that was like later named Nova, and then like Taylor couldn't actually talk, of course, but yeah, he was then just like observing the society of apes and stuff, and it showed like gorillas were military police, and along with like hunters and workers, and there were also orangutans that were pretty much like the type of like the type that were like the government and scientists and just like the ones that oversee all this stuff, and the chimpanzees were really just the scientists, this and stuff, yeah. And yeah, it's shown that like in this world, humans were like considered like hermen, and which is why like they're like being treated as animals, like they're hunted, and killed and enslaved and stuff, and some of them can even be used as scientific experiment subjects. Yeah, yeah. And then eventually, like Taylor was able to actually get Zira's attention, and he would like ended up like showing his intelligence to her as well as Cornelius, her fiance. And then yeah, they ended up like taking an interest in him. And then it then showed that Dr. Zeus, who was an orangutan superior here, he found out about this, and then yeah, he then like was starting to make an arrangement for Taylor to be castrated. But then as before like he could actually get castrated, he ended up like escaping from the apes, and then eventually like as he was running through from the apes and fighting them off, he eventually ended up like being recaptured by the gorillas. But yeah, as he was like caught in a net, then he then just like roared out, "Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape!" So yeah, it was kind of like shown that he could speak and stuff now, and yeah, I guess like he was the only human there that actually could speak, because none of the others that were like captured by the apes ever spoke at all. Yeah, and then eventually, he Taylor was then like just referred to a hearing, and then yeah, he then and like just was like the hearing was basically just to determine the origins of Taylor and stuff, and then like it was like convened by like the president of the assembly, and as well as like other apes, like Dr. Zeus was there, and Maximus and Dr. Honorius, and yeah, basically just yeah, a bunch of other apes, which include like gorillas, chimps, orangutans, yeah, basically all the different types of apes. Apes, yeah. Yeah, and yeah, it was then shown that well, it was revealed that uh Dodge was basically just was now turned into a stuffed corpse, and Landon ended up being subjected to lobotomy. And then yeah, he just was now rendered catatonic, and he couldn't speak. Taylor was like believed by the apes to like be part of a human tribe that was beyond the apes' borders, and then like a Dr. Zeus was like threatening to castrate Taylor for the truth about where he came from. But yeah, then later on, with the help of like Lucius, who was Zira's nephew, Zira and Cornelius were able to free Taylor and Nova, and then they took them to what was known as the Forbidden Zone, which was just a taboo region outside the Ape City that was ruled out of bounds for centuries by the Ape Law, which was also the area that a Taylor ship had crashed down into. And so then like Cornelius and Zero were like intent to gather proof of like an earlier uh, non-simian civilization that was this that had come upon a year before to be cleared out of heresy and stuff, and then they eventually arrived at a cave that for their research and stuff, for like all of their stuff of like where the Forbidden Zone had been. And yeah, And then eventually, Dr. Zeus and his soldiers ended up like intercepting, and then like Taylor then was able to hold them off and basically just like threatening to shoot them if they tried to stop them. And then, and yeah, Dr. Zeus then like entered the cave to disprove any theories that they had, and was just to avoid physical harm to anyone. And then inside of the cave, um, Cornelius then like ended up like displaying remnants of like a technologically advanced human society he that was like predating from a simian history. And yeah, it didn't just show that there were like artifacts as like dentures, eyeglasses, a heart valve, and there was also like this talking doll that apparently like the apes had a huge astonishment over. Yeah. But then yeah, more soldiers ended up appearing, and then but Taylor was holding Dr. Zeus hostage to arrange an escape. So yeah, he ended up tying Zeus down, and then it was revealed then that the Forbidden Zone was once a paradise. Nice, and yeah, Zeus told Taylor that his breed made a desert of it ages ago. Oh, and then yeah, Taylor then decided that he thinks it would be best to search for answers about what he's looking for, or about the Forbidden Zone. Yeah, and he was actually like just told that he may not like what he finds, but he was insistent to take a Nova with him to go find his answers about the ancient human civilization. Yep, and then yeah, then like after like Taylor and Nova rode off, then like uh Zira, Cornelius, and Lucius then like freed Doctor Zeus, and then Zeus had like the gorillas then just set off explosives to seal off the cave and to destroy any evidence as well. And then yeah, Zira, Cornelius, and Lucius were charged with heresy. And then once Taylor and Nova were then just following the shoreline, they then like just then found remains of the Statue of Liberty. And so then that's when Taylor figured out what Zeus was talking about, and he realized that just the planet he was on is actually like the Earth after like a nuclear war. It showed like the Statue of Liberty was just destroyed, and yeah, the movie then just ended with like Taylor just on his knees in despair, really just like enraged at the humanity for basically like destroying the world and just making it a totally just basically like turning it into a wasteland. And yeah, the world was basically just as the world as he knew it just was no more. And then yeah, it just ended like that. So yeah, and so then yeah, it made sense why it ended this way, because yeah, it would like continue on in like the next film and stuff. But so yeah, but yeah, I guess like this was kind of like a good way to like end it, where like you really don't like really end it very happily and stuff, like you basically like hinting that we would get like a continuation of this. So I did like how they really like didn't like end it totally on a completely happy note, and like left it open to like continue for the events in the sequel. So yeah, it is a good film with a good story, a good cast, good performances, outdated effects, but I'm sure we're good at the time. So yeah, a pretty simple film, but the story is just told so well. It really is just like looked at as a true classic, and it is. So yeah, like I said, I'll probably lean more towards the 3.75 star out of 4 range. I mean, yeah, it really is a true classic, despite the fact that the story is like really simple. It's just told so well that you can't help but really call it a great film. I mean, yeah, Charlton Heston, he's great in the film, and just that damn dirty ape line, that's become just so iconic. And yeah, this film overall has just like really been really iconic as well. So yeah, I really would have to say I would call this a great film. So yeah, yeah, I would definitely like recommend this film if you haven't seen it before. I mean, it is really simple, but the story is just told so well, you'll really get a lot of enjoyment out of it. Alright, so that does it for my review of Planet of the Apes. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I'm sorry if, like, this review seemed, like, kind of off, but yeah, it really was just, like, so simple. I just tried to tell it in the best way that I could. So yeah. So I hope you guys did enjoy this review, but yeah, stay tuned as more Planet of the Apes reviews will be coming, and I will like try to make them like more often on, more often, and yeah, really not like take as long because yeah, as while I am still like grieving over like putting my dog down, I am like it. I really don't want to say I'm getting over it because I mean that's not really something that you do get over. I mean it's part of the family, right? But yeah, I am like trying to adjust to it better now. So yeah, I'll like try to get back into gears with this, and yeah, I'll make the videos and just yeah, I'll like try to get through these Planet of the Apes reviews like as best as I can. All right, so yeah, but anyway, so I hope you guys did enjoy this review. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.